Diasa. I said, your city, but who was that?
Hey, Minima sounds so, Prince, a bear or one.
But who was that?
But me, I just me, some bonty. But me saying me practice it after 7th December.
After 7th December,
and I really the new moves. And no, Obia Betty, I see.
Sounds good to see you. Bibi Aboko.
Yaminado me post the program.
And wabra who post no. Also for program no. Now also post on Facebook wall. Fat next share on Facebook wall. TVXYZ Ghana Power 979 on Facebook. And I Facebook on YouTube no. XYZ broadcasting too far. No I also Shamima Tia. Or share. Ama mansa nyina ensa ka ituso ye bi wo ba bia wo na enkomo ya ye ba be di no emu dopa titiriu wo enkontanan ya Ghana abedura ye nim se bonkum ni enko se nifa ni enko se die ni enyo
we ni baby ayeko
ye ni baby ayeko
eh ye ko John Mahama
okay
ye ko NDC
okay
ye ko reset
adentra
ye sankofa nti Ghana for omunim baby a omukọ omunim baby a omompe
wonim ye tell me kasa sane the impression me nya here free journalism kumkofo and ra e won kasa e won steady pefe say I said ye Ghana ye nim baby a ye fa ye ni nkyere it wono no be kire say ye nto abama ye Dr. Mahmoud Baumia so on ejina ma Ghana that
eh right there
enukre
enti me nya nukware yenyina nim se ye mam panyin dada kufuo oye panyin mu ena oye sesia oye elderly statesman yes nti onta emfa no ho enhihye partisan politics bebrebiem nti yenyina yete se obeye interview no yenim senti a omo akwakoto sa afre no omo campaign na tonsum Baumia campaign no atonsum
ebudie
enko yi wow sha omwa change goalpost at every 10 when they don't get the traction almost start here digitalization almost start here fast year no mama what is our can fast year no mama na because enko yi
ebedani
sisifia or see digitalization enkoye omo so free senior high school and no me try post be on Facebook me kan amayeti for oh manchia me fa mo cho mo fa me bon nche me me chia mo nyina me chia XYZ ne Power FM mutie for ne mo ahwefo nyina ya da mo asese mo ne ye di ne yie de bia metie callers minim se mo nyina muta enchi muta NDC TH muta John Dramani Mahamechi muta Professor Jane Nano Pukwajiman ena ya mami Lordina Mahama yenim se December 7th mobeye dia ehia Emma Ghana mpuntu akweni wodi mo vote no be mayen John Dramani Mahama ena NDC MPs ni nyina nti nyame nhyiamo because moa na muka ena yeso yeti
that's right
moa na mo boyaba say programs na ya de ba no ampa say a great programs nti me and me share daily graphic almost say majority vote on policies
manifesto
exactly baby ayekobia in villages small towns obia mitimi starting na ma bisa me nkasa wo me bisa say NDC programs ben na mo ate obeti 24-hour economy.
That's right.
Even in the villages. MPP professors say omonti ase. Ya maame no ma omo enkra no omo obisa omo explain mama omo ka 24-hour economy. Omo ka yes, free senior women's development bank no. Omo ka free senior high school program no. Maybe some senti say no program no course saying they will tell us what they themselves have or more experience to be the problems with the free senior high school and make us senti ya papa John Mahama say oba obe hihye nyema ni ye na aye ya mayena and to assume. No can say ampa to assume. Ghana from any be any be
it's any baby I
person.
And your kufona better.
Oh, they be your kufona better. Now kufona me say ya omo friend because omo campaign na to sum. Nti say see omo hwehwe nkrofo omo speak for them to try and recover omo lost ground. Nti na omo kofa omampani, and because he's a former president, omo so ye MPP. Onti Minkah say Debi. Onti Minkah say Debi. Onti Minkah. Oh, but otie nyema okaya na. Wa dream edopa. Ubehu se onu kra
on for bibia
Debi.
Especially bia.
Economy now akan. Why are we where we are today? Because papa na okanyina all the complaints, all the concerns you have had. Nipa krona or ye chair of economic management team and you on Dr. Baumia. Enti Kufo Epatre say vice president oni robia ewa government. Nti eba ni say na Baumia etimi claimi policies ni say onunti ena eba but economy na ye de ma no as chair no eni de wontimi anye ho hwe. Enti Kufo na anyema bebre na okan no ono a onim say asema asay but wanya enye yi. That no make sure say before MPP during ahead of MPP primaries be Kufo advise MPP delegates say mo vote emma obia oye full of tension.
And this was in 2007.
Yes. When the 17 or so candidates were vying for them. Okay, say ma Senkophobia were full of tension. What the leadership manner obe create chaos. That person was Nana Akufo-Addo. Yanyina eni. MPP for na be can say or can but me say MPP for omo ankasa be can say or can etia Akufo-Addo because na that time no yeti nkai say Alan Chamantin na no ye favored Nedoba. Ene ewo Kumasi napo aba be can say Nana Akufo-Addo Abenya Bibia say no Ozi Nana Akufo-Addo is the best president Ghana has ever had. Or kasa etie onu ani wafa John Ejekunkufu. Ofo say ebe ni de.
Wow.
Enya ni de. Na oso ye Kufo na otna na wa hwe de omudi aye all Kufo former appointees and supporters. As is here omo yi omo ho ama. Ofo say Kufo any omo push Alan Chamantin to resign from the NDC. From the MPP. Asamoah omoko because they spoke against the grain.
But then run former president Kufo na ankasa ekase mo say ono ankasa ne doba ewo abani menso one time echi or tai ba omi echi ne doba ne ye Alan. So it means that the only year no.
Now the uncle Kufo obeka dey. We are elderly statesman and our former president of a former presidential candidate on the New Patriotic Party. And Obeka dey.
By your former president, what criticize on one kasa a party in normal omo a pay. Jerry John Rawlings. So I didn't go phone to me and
Kufo yes, Ada. That has never been his character.
But I didn't know
Unim Kufo. I mean this is your Kobisano. Just sleepers I we are Kobisano. What is said Kufo were critical of the party da. Nti ono so no sunu ne ban no. But Nkofo a omo ben no. The frustrations now it comes out. It na kai wa be yode. Se anka nyode. Enyode. The omo de aye ono ankasa no. Asifem.
Boy na sana eboa.
Oyen emboa because leaders it was say a drew mpempensobia leaders should be able to speak truth. Because the society will honor yempenyu for entimi nka nokware. So entimi nka nokware kwa yedi. But say obe keka nsem a nye nokware a while be losing or respect.
That's right.
Oh, and yanko critic yanko ya former president for but dear wakano wabua NDC. Oh yes, because Obia who say asem na say.
Wow.
So asem because all four say can say be. And also it just doesn't measure up.
Yeah. Because
Onuanim said this economy has collapsed.
Yeah.
Onua say compare this economy to Onono period. The things that he said, or say, Baumia was part of the HIPIC process of, working for Ghana to go to HIPIC and everything. Ghana to go to HIPIC, no more na mode ede bae, more and amo force bae, more na mo sanso ye redenomination.
Yeah.
Abwa. Abwa. Is the city stronger today than it was how many years ago? Maybe. Sometimes the effects of your own policies are what we are still experiencing today.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, you're reconciling way too.
Even before he left, the city was no longer 1 cedi to $1.
Before
Kufuor left, it was not longer 1 cedi to $1. It wasn't. Yeah. It had gone to about $1 to 2 cedis. Yeah. Before Omube free power.
Yeah.
And I also buy Echo call almost
4 cities.
4 cities.
Yeah.
Just double. And in 8 years, we are 1 cedi to $1 to 17. Abba, by what stretch of imagination can you say that this group of people have performed better and managed the economy better, which is one of the most important indicators of this year's election, because the economy affects all of us. And that's why hardships are unbearable. And then maybe callers for a tongue or more valuables to put food on the table. Food. This is where we have gone to. Over 1 million Ghanaians affected by the DDEP. 900 or so pensioners. Some have died. Kojo Yanka. Was it Kojo Yanka? I always mix them. Kojo or Kweku Yanka. But Yanka no ba.
Okay.
Or posting and saying, say, things are really hard.
Kojo.
Kojo.
Yes.
Say, the cost of transport from Accra fuel to his village is completely unbearable. This is him, an accomplished Ghanaian. They are speaking out. Calibos. Calibos say they.
Obechusu 24-hour economy.
To a $58 million cathedral, swimming pool. People are talking. Mekoko Ferdia Nursing Training College over the weekend. But no say police checkpoint. Drew bia me roll it down, na ma chia mu. Me beka se o afi abara mobeto. Ba ko say. Asi mi nya di Kwame Minkah.
Wow.
Omuso mo asem nyina ehwo muti. Is they go na anajo me call I also no fear call again. Police for. Look, the wind of change is blowing.
Is it that obvious?
It is so it's palpable. Let's say obvious. Use a stronger and it is palpable. It is palpable. You see, Ghanaians often but when you're losing an election, and when you're winning an election, say Omunim, it's desperation, and Omunim so amusu Unim hypertension na bebre enya so far. Unim high blood pressure bebre enya so far. Unim anxiety attacks are bebre. Omunya.
Omo kasa se de uzika. Wo bedwam. Gra. Any na pomo. And even baumia.
Now unim fear. What fear can generate? Fear can give you some power.
Sir?
To say when you are high, mother show fear and desperation. And
wow.
They are out. And they know they are out.
You reconcile to Daily Graphic publication of Yemra Common. Say Ghana for the one. Wabaya ye quatuano. Obubejina manifesto so any policies and the Atuaba. Where you shift from the Nani and Imdadano. Can you know Bama Tintingram or fair? Yeah, Jinaso near the Atuaba Kai. Ebua, enemy free as Santimemo. I am a 2 months.
Yes.
At the end of this answer,
na pojina Ashantiman eka say if omu di vote no ewo Ashanti a be win national election no what is say o can be because the outturn of support menshia asawase omu works now omu ye alter for youth manifesto youth command Pablo group no over 1 million youth on the streets of Ashanti region into omu ajai ho omu ehu say tribalism no enye religious politics na ba umia ewo Muslim communities no so atonsum ye ko zongo community o say ene na obeba be kasa a kire yen ena ba mama bi o say yen hwe de US for ye say US for no you don't have to like the conduct of somebody ansana watu abama no you look at the effects of the economy on your life ena yena kufokra kai how many years ago say nkrofo hwe omu asitina mu ansana omu beto aba papa nso because the economy affects everybody. And it says here, if majority of Ghanaians are telling us that they are voting on policies, it is good. It is good because we want to move away from religious and ethnic and tribal politics to voting for a group of people who have the best programs to solve the problems. This is in concert with the findings of all the various other surveys that we have, the Afro Barometer survey, the electoral NCC for survey, and even EIE4 survey, which all put economy at the highest. The jobs that's just what everybody is talking about. Because Charlie, sika ni uko to kwama, untimi nyeshwe. And my grandfather Benjamin Fanny Cross or say we are see but a year see then so nyama mi se bi pe na emma e wi ase nye de poverty ebeka poverty ohia
wow
yare ena ewo
wow
o si ohia ena ebe ma wehu ade a e wo se e fata se onye nso ntimi nye because uni sika
ni wo
yare na timi ba obetimi awo sika o nso da hospital
wow
o sika nyina entimi nsa o yare na ehu nso na otimi bejiji bibia awiase na wewu na weja bibia
aka se gubo wow
o se wiase de nyema mensen e ma wiase enya de biem sanso with this issue so if the citizens want us to engage in politics of issues, it is well and good because this is what we have always been preaching.
But what about it? After any city here, make my voucher, Mama say, what the amount call, but also MPP. It appears as a research here, because Utie Napo, now Utie a year Samira, Baumia, so Nam Zongo, Awojina, the fact so, make your hand will free, Montu Abama, so, and it's Anomana. Is it a case that Omonte Ghana for us, Omunim, the Ghana for her?
Now, may say they cannot hold any debates on the issues because on the issues of the indicators of governance, they have failed.
But also not afraid debate.
So Munim said the Kweku Bakuka said the best way to kill a debate for a sitting government is to call for a debate. Or see, it's an exercise in futility. Once a sitting government keeps insisting, come for debate. It's a strategy for the debate not to happen.
Wow.
From our history. Because when we're also calling for a debate, even at the time that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has never run away from accountability. Yeah. So that's the difference in the character of John Mahama and the character of the NDC, and the character of the NDC conduct, John Mahama, if you compare it to Omu character.
That's right.
Since Ekufa-Addo Niba Umiabaye, even media engagements, they can't even keep basic accountability. John kept that accountability. Mills kept throughout. So when John asked for a debate, because they had made the economy a major issue and Doomsaw a major issue, and they turned it down because they knew they couldn't even win that, debate. Omunim. because the facts and the statistics today have shown. Me see John ebetimi aka say in 4 years obetimi de nsa say in 4 years me kono meja terminal 3 airport obetimi de nsa eda ho ejina ho behu obetimi aka say in 4 years me kono Tema port expansion me yeah me kono circle Dubai me yeah endi hu chinye me kono Greater Accra Regional Hospital Hospital, beautiful edifice. Me ye 4 years me patrol muntie o. Obetimi aka che o say me kono monhwe ha o Legon.
That's right.
Medical Hospital, University of Ghana Medical Hospital, first quaternary hospital in the entire West African sub-region. Ye ma ye di bibia e shemu ma ye stati ejuma. John etimi ka kire yen e de ne sa kire yen e wo atoabo.
That's right.
Say me kono atoabo gas processing plant, a very extensive, expensive infrastructure program that saved Ghana over $300 million. Me jaya me pacho mumbusa Nana Ekufuado ne Dr. Bawumia projects ben na omwa startia omwa complete. Even the promise he made to God.
Almost now you mepem ebi want ma. To sprinters, flower pots.
Flower pots. One Jeremy interview be only John. Yeah. The conceptualization of that idea started long ago. And if you compare that, there was no way they can have any debate on the economy then and even now. And they don't want a debate on the economy. They want a debate on the fact that vote for a Muslim, vote for a Fulani first lady. And then, is that what our politics has been
Shamima many sound, but as a Muslim, what take some of them come on how do you feel?
Prince, me a inclusion advocate, me a diversity advocate, me a representation advocate. All my life, I have advocated, say, this our society must be reflective of our diversity.
That's right.
But the basis of that advocacy is based on ensuring equity, justice, fairness, and justification. At the highest office of the land, you can presidency, ni vice presidency, ni those who lead us. You share a group of people who are able to lead. Bawumia has been included. So a Muslim.
That's right.
Or a vice president. Prince, Mamin Tri untie for dream say Bawumia onye career politician. Bawumia no Bank of Ghana. And Ekufuado kotam no. Edi vice president prekupe edemano.
Yeah.
Eshe nyam. Oh, Muslims were happy. But it was not the first time we had broken the glass ceiling. Because na ye hu bida. Or tinti na enye news.
Yeah.
Enti no Bawumia ko wie 8 years no. Meme point ni say anka Bawumia timi ka kire say after 8 years of MPP superior administration, if you compare their 8 years to all governments in the past on the basis of the economy, interest rates, job creation, health infrastructure, school infrastructure, money in our pockets, if he told me and the evidence bore them out, say Omo MPP administration no, have outperformed all governments, because that is the only basis that obetime bisa say enye mumayen tuaso.
That's right.
Because dear modema no sikana ya kwakwaji over 600 million Ghana cedis na mo borrow no. Debts no amodia to country no so over 762 billion.
Yeah.
Public debts na modia to ye so no. Die no enini. Adeni.
Enye statue.
Obia enye statue. Obie didi. Obie nyebi.
Yeah.
Obie didi peche. Anka Ghanaians no mo bedwane. Esandi den.
Kentu ni Muhammad.
Baby.
Wow.
Baby. But we have been told, said they have borrowed more than all governments combined. Patrokaye na nkrofo from Nkrumah same.
Ebesi Mahama penso.
nyina ebom
Omaba bosi ato omu nyina.
Ena de omo busi a omo abo in 8 years.
Yeah. Eso chen.
Yenye.
Efi kuma besi ma so. Wow.
Nsusu untimi nkyerɛ agenda 111 hospital baako a mwewie a commission a eye adwuma.
So muguso.
Ena omo gusu saying 8 years. Me can say 4 years the Mahama did complete projects here. Me mention and that's just a few. Bebre, district hospitals, regional hospitals, Chiefs compound, E-blocks, get fund school infrastructure programs to expand access so that Anka free senior high school na start here gradual, rolling out of the free no. Nanka yenkoda no muko school na there's space for them. Yeah, kano omo nkanche ye. Hospitals now omwe omo employ nurses for no bisa say enti John Mahama, you see one employee nurses bia. And I make us say Ridge Hospital no ghosts and omuye juma ewo ho. University of Ghana Medical Center no me patro saman 4 and omuye juma wo ho na Bank of Ghana Hospital no. Yeah. These are hospitals that were built that have employed nurses and doctors. Na ne kufa do agenda 111 no on which one he has completed and how many nurses he has employed. I didn't think about me on to me answer question. I didn't think yamano. Yamano 5 questions per or they are got 50 questions. That is what they do. Yamao CD for a 4 CD to $1 or they are called 17 CDs. Yamao 5 questions, one control 50 questions.
It's only beyond
negativity. Omoya na about the corruption, bebre, state capture, bebre, nepotism, bebre, clannish behavior, bebre, loot and sharing amongst family and friends, bebre kwa. Ejapa. That document is real and it's true. So Ghanaians want us to focus on the issues. And on the issues, NDC has more superior outcomes from our previous administration, and we have even more superior programs in our manifesto to reset Ghana for jobs, accountability, and prosperity.
And what President Mahama pro bonum what di bebre echi.
Yes.
I winim the work amount for superior outcomes of the programs no. Unya won popoye based on enkomo President Mahama ni amount for bedi and now wumpo engagement a onim ko for benya. Unya that again say amount for nim the die nim the benya free 24-hour economy mu the benya free world women's international bank and then unya that impression.
Yes. Sentina baby they come out in their numbers to support us and to encourage us and to ask questions. Because the yaka say munim say ya bida. And the Pacrona all catch on say mayor no omunim say ono so why bida.
Yeah.
Because he has been president before. And as I see no you choose the experience over experiment. Na ye ko experiment kura ye ntimi nkofa nkrofo na mo akose problem no. Untimi nkoye experiment. Oh yeah experiment as obeto new resources. Oh the resources obeto o ingredients. Now abeye o variables. Now kofa obeye experiment too. Now as akofa known entity. Known entity no ono ni ba omia. Why vice president on any 8 years. Yehu de obetimi aye. We wako developing apps with no backbone. Apps are enye ejuma. Apps are ECG app. Omode koma ono a company linked to him. Sa massive corruption ye free. Over 200 million were reported to say bribe or no aje before you come in, to see him.
And you'll be account.
Yeah. Oh.
But that's the
I don't see the anyway. Omo adverts. Friend Mahama say or you're corrupt. Can say who is it that was corruption, fraud, bribery, corruption, even when there is no iota of truth in it. They have no scruples. They have no scruples. MPP, they have no scruples. They are playing those adverts. Are you not hearing them? Calling John Mahama, government official one, a special prosecutor, a cleno. And intro. ebra mumunu why guilty who ba omia unuanom mo the sole source contracts amano sole source contracts. You came on the back of preaching against sole sourcing.
Yeah.
Say a corruption.
Yeah.
For the amount brother. Wow, nche say obia entimi nye side man. Disewo. Sami ablakwa. Obechirayen. Evidence of lands and properties acquired in your wife's name. Omo offense yempo. Baumia
Second lady no.
Now when who Kennedy Japan neba eye video be say obi ne infrastructure omusi.
Yeah.
Omusi Samira brother and omufa macho men ni graders ebe ye den omobe destroy those properties. Kennedy Japan no neba and no catch.
Wow.
Say this is what they are doing, using power to grab state property. Do you see? This is the character of them. They have come to enrich themselves and their families. And there's no reason, and Americano, there's no basis for them to say break the 8. Break the 8 for them so that you come and bury us in the hole that you have dug. Just say you've killed elderly people, they have died of anger. Look at the Karma Conference Center man, Prince. Ejajekum. An industrialist who has worked all his life, believed in this country, invested his meager, pensions into government bonds. And he was able to speak about his pain, even that he's gone. When he was speaking about the fact that many of his colleagues had died because of this debt exchange program. The
link between Saadi and Baumi and Sanwedma about debt exchange program.
Yes.
So which is connected to the economy, no?
Yes.
And at the head of the economic management team, Baumia. Churches are linked, no?
But everything that has gone wrong with the economy, blame Baumia and his economic management team.
Sad data she need yadi.
Nkrofo edi omosika akwa share government bonds because they have public education to trust our financial system. That don't keep your money at home, save in the banks. Banks no cry, they got top bank cry on your interest. And to treasury bills, and as a government issue bonds are koto B. Inti interest bar now I kojo interest. O person rolling over or principal now I rolling over. Anti pensioners omu bulk sam na bebre ede share government bonds ebi muso editor treasury bills. So every month omu koji interest no. And no na omo de beto omo duane omo edro omo de be call omo hospital visitations. When you interviewed a lot of the pensioners who were picketing and demonstrating at the finance ministry, this was their story. There was a woman who was running an orphanage of Riabroche in life savings edibe share ho and monthly receipts no and na odi running orphanage no sisi o si wa close orphanage no sike ni ho. All of a sudden, you just announced this draconian measure. And it was at a time, 2 years before this, economists, NDC, were saying that the levels at which you are borrowing, and you're sustainable. And the DDEP came about because of the collapse of the economy.
That's right.
Ghana virtually went bankrupt.
That's right.
Yeko bo busia sa ina edi sika no see adan kese emaye ho di ma ye girlfriends ni ye boyfriends yamfa nye adwuma na yeko gi sika no nti dana e wo se ye ntua sa sika no ba government ni sika
ani bi tua
omo ntimi ntua Ghana fo a omo toto omo treasury bills na omo bonds omo ntimi ntua omo foreign lenders lenders And America said, even when it was clear that we were heading for a major crisis, Oforia Ata, Ejina Parliament can say we are a proud people. Almost see we are a proud nation. Because here metie economy so say no, the economy yes I be call IMF. You be call IMF. You call IMF no so will be closed out of the international capital market. There will be local consequences, there will be international consequences. 2 weeks after making that statement, they announced that we're going back to IMF. And the amount for Muti and Crawford, your more dear woo. And now what will you say? That's how they say. Oh, my dear woo, papa, or moon, dear, no more ye, any consequences of their actions and inactions.
And you see,
so now inform who back and say.
Mamma Father's way, and Sanka on him one common. Now, 2021, and Koma, any president, Muhammad, and I think this is the right time also boarding in her. Look, 2021. Yaneti ani edin komono o ka se baumia mo ne Akufo-Addo mo ka se ye economy no o maboa me na nyina nya ahoden a sem from aboni bia kra bobo a economy no enwiri ngu form da me pese wutie kokobo a wode mo sa abre no eni tie o mentie eni sunsu aso a e de breye se video na ready ayemo na ye fani komo
Nkrumah Circular, you just pass there a minute, you even realize that there's any traffic there. Pokwase interchange, you had a signing agreement with African Development Bank, you need a Sikano Eto home, and Sunday if you are buying, and buying to us. So it was an African Development Bank facility. In Jenka, we started it and they came and completed it. And yeah, but a train here, Edwin said team about to crack and also a train here, kind Bibiano. And so be able to home day. Omo to about my domu nase. Omo want to about my so maybe a kubia. There was very wide coverage. TV, radio, biana, obia heavy. And to be in the course of 15 regions. No, into Africa in Greater Accra. Into Greater Accra from so Yadamase.
Okay, but within what tour across the 15 region, Greater Accra is 16 now. Make go Greater Accra because I think our barber shall say. What's your evaluation of Nyawu and the Kafa, the current state of Ghana?
Oh, what you mean, say? We're in a state of despair. And Crawford around. And Crawford so no because and yet say and I buy no a promise here. Before the elections, somebody had never been free water, free lights, free power, free dairy. Now a COVID sikano 11.9 billion and almost spending from March to December. They echo into convincing people. Yes, a small business loan. So Juanamu Pimpi Osha 2,000 Ghana. And then we're all paying that back. And she be a finance minister the budget beba.
That's right.
Economy mea titia pansa. Now economy I say it was so resilient. Because I say I'm vice president the kind.
Yeah.
Or say if there's any external shock for 6 months, Ghana will not need any external intervention. And no 2 weeks. COVID, see here within 2 weeks. Now, Yakwa MFA Kosresika. I mean, what happened to that resilient economy? Let's just say,
intro.
Omukasayo. Intro no de omudi pa. And as at now, omuni conscience so COVID levy edaso. After you had received so, look at the outpouring of local philanthropy during the COVID era. Companies who donated, individuals who donated, foreign, nations that donated over 11.1 billion. His Excellency has just mentioned the monies we received. Look at the sole source contract they gave to that Nigerian company for the airport.
Frontier.
The Frontier company.
That's right.
And the amount of monies they took from travelers. And we still have a COVID levy. We still have a COVID levy.
Wow.
Nti yaka say Operation Oral must be implemented. It is because these people, they have stolen without conscience. Without conscience. Without no fear of tomorrow. It's like they were drunk in power.
Wow.
And they had no conscience at all. So His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the audio to it is going to be transformational. And I wanted to talk about this free senior high school. And America say the NPP campaign is now hinged on campaigning. They have now organized a group of academics, lecturers that they are going to round to say that we want to protect free senior high school, that we are going to fight against NDC's attempt to cancel free senior high school program. Prince, do you know why they have kept hammering on the fact that they on their misinformation that NDC is coming to cancel free senior high school because of money message bia.
Wow.
They've used free senior high school to win 2 elections, in fact 1 election, because the last election was stolen, and we all know that it was a stolen verdict. So right now that is their only hope, to use free senior high school, because how do you go around saying say obi ebetra program and the ka say mintra program so see obetra program me see mintra program o see obetra program no so na eno na ode enante propaganda or campaign, because if they don't do that, what it means is the conversation will now have to move from obetra mintra to program now more can seminal. What is the state of the program today? If they don't do that, we would now have been having conversations about the state of the free senior high school program and what needs to be done.
Wow.
They don't want that, because if we do that, the kind of worms that will open, the school feeding suppliers that they owe millions of Ghana cedis, the procurement corruption, the feeding of our children with expired rice, the collapse of school management boards, the authoritarian nature of the GES working with headmasters, the nature of free which is not free. As I see, parents are coughing up 6,000, 5,000 to buy items on the prospectus. They don't want that. So they don't want you to have a conversation about the fact that 8 years since almost started free senior high school program. Almost to me and for bill no emba parliament. Bill ni parliament. That would have passed the bill and legalized the free senior 8 years old. Me pa chomu fa bill nemba and almost say anka omo de beba recall ya recall no so omo de bill no beba na mo say nkrofo mbra parliament na mo so mo free asanko block parliament from working to even start looking at the bill. While a commitment omo commitment say siano double track no omo pese yanka ho asem omun pese yen discuss the young girls now mo aba betina fie bi mu kra akonyinsen because omo betina fie for 3 months, ako school 2 months, abetina fie 3 months. They don't want us to talk about the states of the academic calendar. Engina fako confusion. Form 1 for omu wiye omu ambe fie si ko form 2. Nti form 3 for form 2 for no omo aba fie omo ti fie sesia make us mbako o fie. They don't want us to talk about that. Nti it has to be they are cancelling, we are not cancelling, they are cancelling. Nti what have we promised to do? John Mahama akache your education policy say
that's right.
Double track system no dear. I was say yen free mo. Na yen regularize the academic calendar na yen nim say in this month of the year all senior high school students will be in senior high school. The special constraints eda so ewo ho. Enti infrastructure now mo ejai no. E-blocks now mo incomplete no. Ebe priority for the next NDC government to complete those infrastructural projects.
No mama mo time. E go si brebe and a move because in corona bar pay so and until a double track no. It will abra my bar bay no yama who brebe it was si brebe na mo be
no cry there were high beka. This say ba now you assess the state of all the uncompleted projects. Once we do that and we know what needs to be done, and I make us a priority. So a priority, immediately we assess the state of completion or uncompletion of all existing educational infrastructures. Get fund would come on board. And a special dedicated fund now, John I promise, His Excellency John Mahama I promise to set aside for the funding of the free senior high school program. No, and also I am sure there will be elements of infrastructure in there. And at least within our first year, we should see construction of attempts to complete existing infrastructure for the senior high school program.
Mami Musa, if you have a question, so wabra ye chama infrastructure no we and as ma to asoro and could an hefa number 1 because what's mo buy amo and the double track no. So by the time I hear can and then
a policy. So for example, you know that they've done this for 8 years. So once we come in and we assess the state of infrastructure, if it can absorb, because the MPP Kramoka say it's not all the schools. Some of the schools have been able to go on track. So all the existing schools, infrastructure now it can take a term or 2 to finish infrastructure to absorb. It's very plausible. But I won't say in 1 week, in 2 weeks, we are going to do this. The policy is that we will abolish the double track system. What do we need to do to abolish it, expand infrastructure? That will be done within the shortest possible time. And he's done it before, and we'll do it again. And the poor quality of distribution of food. Almost centralize it, almost say buffer stock. Ni procurement way. And as you see, back expired rice. Only God knows the effects that the consuming of these expired products is going to have. So we are going to look at that again and decentralize the system, because in every region there are farms, there are local farmers producing basic staples within those regions. Whether they are grains, whether they are rice, there are a lot of rice farms in the north. I don't know why we cannot use government purchasing power to buy from these farmers in our regions and feed our children in the schools in the regions. So you can say our agric mechanization program and the Feed Ghana program is going to use government purchasing power to ensure the redistribution of wealth for all Ghanaians in every region. Yembe centralize food and for adwane and share warehouses for years for those food to be expired before we give it to children who are hungry, because already the food of the adwane enough. That is it. Please, this is what they are feeding your children. This is what they are feeding your children. Ebin Musu can say if they drink cocoa without sugar, sugar bo. Yes. Bibia I say, they can't be say, oh, mobile cancel, moon cancel. They don't want us to have a conversation on how to improve. Until John Dramani Mahama can Ebiema Sanka say, Debbie, how can we even cancel free senior high school? Yeah, cancel free senior high school. It has come to stay. We would look at all the inefficiencies and I make ensure a dedicated source of fund for the financing of the program, and also decentralize the school supply system to ensure that they get access to food on time.
But funding a problem. I mean, a free agency, a good for the more at Yabe. Funding a money a problem. Only dedicated
sources. It's a very erratic.
But it's almost all your revenue.
A very erratic. So they pick and choose from different sources.
Wow.
That is why we have the problems we have, because the cost is colossal. And if we didn't think through the financing mechanism within the short to medium and long term, what we are faced with is what we will face with.
It's dedicated funding will be free.
Send the finance ministry for chair and indiscipline ABBA school, because they've collapsed teacher, parent, union associations and school management associations, sports programs, inter-schools. What inter-schools in a long time? Because there's just no leg room in the schools to raise any money to participate in those activities. Sports, which is such a critical intervention for our youth and our children. And textbooks, they have rolled out a new curriculum.
That's right.
And I
basic school and I said
second cycle. They've rolled out new curriculum. Until I was listening to the I think he's the head. He was on a sister radio station, And he was asked frontally, is the curriculum ready? He said the curriculum is ready. Are the books ready? I see, for now, it will be online. The teachers can have access to the elective courses online. And I mean, can say how many secondary schools in some of our villages have computers for teachers to go and access online. And I can say, okay, how about the teachers handouts and lesson teachers pack or say and also say online. So teachers, how are they supposed to? Did you use their own money to print? You see, we are just in crisis. We are in crisis, but we will resolve these things. We will regularize all of these things, because under NDC we didn't have problem with textbooks distribution. Even this free senior high school implemented for how many number of years? Do you know we still have only 65% penetration of textbooks? Only 65. Dr. Clement Park, only friend. Normal states of our education from basic. Make a chair say XYZ for make a chair. And the harassment of teachers and head teachers. She said nobody should have an opinion of how they are the ones who are the primary, frontliners in terms of delivering the education you want. And they don't have an opinion on how to make this program better and effective. They don't have the right to share their concerns. I mean, Udiomuko programs, because I was in Tamale when they were there from secondary school teachers, the secondary school teachers. They were just told that they should go and prepare. They were reopening. This was like 2 weeks to the end of October. That the school are going to reopen at the end of that month.
Just like that.
2 weeks to prepare. That they should just go. Schools
are so can you
They be. You would even know a year ahead.
Absolutely.
That this is the school calendar. Nti parents be able plan. Nti pacho mutie meaning say Power FM mutie for bebre. Ebe supporting. But moon educating Crawford. This is the state of affairs. This is what we are going to do to improve the free senior high school program. It has come to stay. Ask MPP to talk about the problems and the challenges of the program and how they intend to solve the program, and stop disturbing all of us with they will cancel, we will not cancel.
Many messages are making a lot of them are on the economy. Where free Isaac or the free Tema and the buy or say Kwame, ask Shamima Muslim this hard question for me. Now Shamima, the hard question no can you know Bisabio or who antidote or some question in the set. E kaya do my Ghana suya asabre yentimi twa se NDC dwoma ama ba ba mu a animoni mu na no de no be ye no yi sa aka da free so na ekwan na tima bie na yetimi tuatua yen aka. And I will also say the new song is free SHS baako problems bebre we free Professor Mauli godo also chao also Philippa and then amankomo no aye dey say free SHS baako number of days, Ketua vacation days, baby. Also, message on the back. We also say good morning, Kwame. Thank you for the good job you're doing for Mother Ghana. You and Hajia Shamima Muslim. Please activate the phone lines. We also want to contribute. I think you should ask the MPP government those hard questions, not NDC. Why? NDC for the Homunchi Yesika and Yomuna Abai Sabri. Hard questions in Yanwabisa. MPP for me, that's it. And it will contribution. I can see Apple. Yeah, be a phone line strong. Numbers in 020-898-4166 and 020-898-4166 and 050-000-0257. First call about bar. Money in TNT, mammy. We need maybe a free marching so.
Your friend is Minkah.
Is he at you?
Madam, now, what can I say? Ni Ghana stand. Ya tani. Nyama wote chemina taso. Enti Ghana tupa. Ni kama na kana ya tuaba. Na kana ni bi anidi. Enti Ghana stand.
Yes, that's yes. So I be so that's pa. o se when ya yake to abane ne ene ya
enche
anyway next caller hello morning hello good morning
Good morning.
me so tie be free phone so we need na baby of free
Yeah, me Nana me kaso fitikos.
Nana Kepkos tie o.
Yeah. Me person me kaso in this kitchen. And say we are making too much noise because and before we buy some best system no. They didn't come to better anything because they came with their manual. Their manual says that we should do this, do that. All that they are doing is from their manual. It clearly tells us that in before we just came to destroy.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't have to go and need to be looking at the Ijapadi book and then what is happening because that's what they came to do.
That's it, all can I say. Na Pacho said Japan, Japadi woman, MPP are buying implementing. Or your madri on the buy and say, I draw a book. It's the old book, no more. Hello, morning. Miss Saudi, baby, I'm free.
But I'm very NS
Kokomlemle, it's you.
But if you want boy, dear, and I'm nasty, and you got them, Mama say, say, I feel you bet poor man. Both you cry. The someone I have to follow with the one papa. Mama say, my dad down for a Muslim conversation. From somebody come pa. Who will see? Now we don't throw no chasana. Oh, yeah.
Material canon. I feel final call and I feel Shamima Yetio questions will be a man for Abisano. Hello, morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Odina, baby, I'm free.
Yeah, we are not in the born and former in Oh, I'm on Christians, you know. Hello?
Yet you
Christians, mom says, I will a Christian. No, because the gay bar. Now, who support him? Who said that she has a woman, one and open a hammer. That gay at someone who are called Santa come for that particular one sign. Ganya, who's your Ganini, who's a Christian, who's who's social agenda. Not getting muscle, and I have a problem.
Material canon. But I said, not just a man for issues, no, and also people are disappointed largely. Messages in any course now, by no shamps.
Yes. Me per se, me T4 now, none, Mona Musumu Frey and Yadamoase. Obisa say, how is NDC going to deal with the debt situation?
That's right.
And record they will yanka and one day matter. And one day matter. What we'll do immediately we come into power is to stop decay now. Omwa causing proyeno ne katashisheno. Yebe stopping nyina, yebe plugi holes nyina, illegal contracts be ama award be yebe ye free mu, yebe cancel because illegal yebe cancel. Enye adia any problem be abeba because omunim di omwaye operating loot and share so will you yebe use legal instrument. Say unni explanation for welfare wa acquire as a public officer. Wono wako weja ka bebre ewo ministry or department or agency as a CEO a minister na yakon say wako to ndan bebrebe yebeba beje na de akwa akotua kana weja or ministry na why na nkotua kana wa odi aba no through your corrupt practices no into investigations ne de yebeye pa and hold former appointees accountable. The me then also say John Dramani Mahama ne character ne conduct in his previous administration they be ameka say mefa president say corruption issue eba ne administration otimito anamo ema sa person no to allow ne danfo under NDC under John Mahama when there was an issue a problem there was prosecution of a member of his 8 years of Nana Akufo-Addo government. All the scandals, PDS, textbooks, mass sets, all these major scandals. Pacho when we say clearing agent na Manasseh Atuno clearing agent.
Wow.
And Martin Amidun so Atuno mother serpent of corruption because the Omoya no enye Cecilia Dapa edi over $1 million, over 1 million and other currencies. Ye who ye wone dem President Akufo-Addo when who boni bia e wo mo control dear Cecilia letter. Na aden na Oman penyo betimi ebie visa say obi anye boni bia e wo wo aman mu ebra corruption scandals one after the other. Ye koye investigate wiempo na wo be clear nipa say unin say ye investigations bi anipa kono obeye free.
That's right.
This is wow by okache say obe use a NAS principle. All pay to me no from ye no okache say obey proactive. So or say corruption we be or no abeto anomo akoshe. I feel you see or a rule of law. We must allow the law to prevail. Now we need say rule of law. Now they can Ghanaians say obey you say ANAS principle no. ANAS principle no. Any day when a proactive investigation of matters of corruption or tisent na a turn no akoshe no a chinkrofo no. I didn't know why nyebi. I didn't know why nyebi. Who dear obia wa ye adwuma wa aban mu odibonia na wa kata so amano.
Wow.
At the expense of the Ghanaian. Obisa say, how are we going to build the economy? Me per se, even at the time that Dumso was a major problem for the NDC administration, that problem was solved within the 4 years mandate of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Obia intimi endi saade no
joy.
Yes. So we solved the Dumso problem, but because the Dumso problem was very direct, affecting Nkrofo directly, na Nkrofo infrastructure na Nkrofo and John Mahama I catch and say yes. What I say yes. Your personal needs were of importance.
Yeah.
So even though the infrastructure he was building, the hospitals, the schools, the Kasua interchange, the financing that was already gotten for the Opokrasi interchange, all of these ones that we were doing to ease the burdens on you, because Dumso was affecting you directly on a day-to-day basis. And your focus of this next administration is purely about creating jobs.
That's right.
To put money, because right now MPP draconian policies no are eroding your savings, your investments, your incomes, your loans, your access to quality healthcare, quality education, our pensions go back to factory settings. In fact, it's in the negative.
Yeah.
But to tell you that the NDC is capable of doing it, in all of these challenges, look at what we left for them. The NDC under John Mahama created strategic cash buffers, such as the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, Obekaya, and it had accrued over $270 million cash at hand. Sinking fund na we left $500 million in the sinking fund. Stabilization fund stabilization fund $300 million is what we left in the coffers. Apart from the general capacity, financing capacity from taxes and everything, which they have received more than any government. Yes. And is zero.
Wow.
All these funds are zero. So in the next 100 days, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised that he will do a number of things. Immediately, on top of the priority, how do we reduce the hardships? How do we ensure macroeconomic stability? And then the previous NDC administration, it means my inflation bar to single digits. Interest rates were very low. And as you know, it's before we exited power. Today, look at where it is. It is over 25%.
That's right.
The fiscal and debt sustainability, we will look at it. I mean, the finance team is going to put a crack team to see how we restructure and ensure sustainable fiscal debts and payment. Of course, we are obliged. We have to make some of the payment. But all these independent power producers, all these companies, foreign companies, local companies, who over 8 years you have built up your debts. Government has not paid you. You are keeping quiet. You are keeping quiet. Unim say government were disappointed. Were especially in the Onchauka. Over $200 billion in debt in only the power. More kamonye to more. Yempe say January 2025. NDC buy a pe. Na more start say yentramoka. More voice mu pese mo beka say china monka say ne. Monka say ne yina na Ghanaians enhu the state of your affairs. Please. This is 20 days to election 2024. Yes. One can be beer and now. Some of us will not be in a hurry to advocate for the payment of any debt owed you. If we owe you under from January 2025, we'll be working hard to pay those debts. But you will not put pressure on His Excellency John Dramani Mahama come January 2025 to pay you debts that have accrued over 8 years that you have refused to speak publicly about and to demand accountability for. I'm speaking to all the big players in Ghana who are owed huge amounts of money by the Nana Bawumia government. You have 20 days. Make Ghanaians know the state of the nation's indebtedness to you.
That's right.
Make those announcements public today, because after 2025, we will give priority to those that are working with the government to solve today's problem.
Very well. Shamima.
2 minutes.
Okay, within this two.
Within so e-levy, no COVID levy, no 10% levy on betting winnings, no emissions levy, no import duty on vehicles, no nyama bebre, and no they almost immediately ebeyi efrimu. Me pese me ndamwase na menka bibi about the office of the First Lady, Lordina Dramani Mahama, Mrs. Munim say mo to aba ama John Dramani Mahama, mo to aba nonso, and you would receive, and you together with John Mahama would be his spouse, who would be supporting him, isn't it? Mo to aba suma John Mahama, mo to ama Jane Nano Opokwajiman, the first female vice president. Mo to aba ama John Mahama, mo to ama the empowerment of Ghanaian women, Ghanaian youth, the protection of our children, and the protection of our elderly. Lordina Mahama and the Lordina Foundation. Ejuma Awaye over the years, she is a symbol of the resilient spouse, the praying spouse, the supportive spouse, the spouse that does not contest with her husband for the spotlight.
That's right.
The spouse that is happy to stay in the background and do great work. Over the past couple of months, we see maternal and child clinics in Bole, in Kransa North, in Kransa East. There's a town which I just forget the name. Bodom recently were commissioned. Bodom. These are Bodom. Were commissioned these clinics because she has always been for the welfare and health of women and children. This is the woman who has been beside her husband for over 35 years and above. Before he became an assembly member, before he became an MP, before he became a deputy minister, a minister, a vice president, a president, this woman has paid her dues. They be about the office of the First Lady. If anybody deserves to be the next First Lady of Ghana, it is the woman who has put in the most work. Because if you think the burdens of governance is heavy, think about the wife of those who lead. The burden of them on them is doubly heavy. And this woman has shown stoic resilience. And this is the character we want our mothers and ourselves as young mothers to be made up of. Strong women who work and who fight. So yes, my sister Samira may come to you and say vote for her husband so she can become the first Fulani First Lady. I'm saying that she needs to put in the work.
Yeah.
Just as our mother Lordina Mahama has
work.
put in the work for decades.
Wow.
What have they done? They were removed and made vice president. I'm saying that the journey to president is a long journey, and you need to put in the work. This is not the time for Baumia or Samira. This is the time, with all due respect, with all humility, with deep conscience, this is the time for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Mrs. Lordina Mahama to continue the impactful work she does for the people of Ghana, for the women of Ghana, for the children of Ghana. And I know you will all do the needful come December 7th. Yadamwase, yenimse mubetu abapa, mubeshe mwasitina mu, na mwatu abapa, mubetu ama NDC, mubetu ama John Dramani Mahama, mepamucho monsheshe, umbrella no, katawie no, chiniena, eno, ena yeshushe, na monfa monsa, mon reduce sport ballot no so, mepamucho montu mubu, mon voti ye, mon pipa motambo no, na ink no ambesai ballot paper no, chiniena, ena yede ko. Afi nyame maye nyina ekunim nkunim
yes
nkunim so be ye inshallah
Shamima ever passionate eduma no asi at least for net atra nyame ya no be to aso we dia Kwame Minkah ajuma die power ni but the power made money back